Rian Halley was never late, but that morning everything went wrong. The space station was crowded, alarms were loud, announcements echoed from every wall, and thousands of people rushed to their ships. Rian pushed through the noisy crowd, holding his small travel bag close to his chest. He kept checking the digital screen on his wrist, afraid he would miss the transport to the mining station. He whispered to himself, "Gate C12, red stripe on the hull, easy." But when he reached the long hallway full of ships, something strange caught his eye. Two ships stood side by side. Both had red stripes. Both were built the same way. Both doors were open. Steam rose from the ground, covering the labels on the floor. Rian frowned. Great, twins. Who designs ships like this? He looked left, then right. The crowds pushed behind him, and someone yelled for him to move. The pressure made him step forward without thinking. He turned toward the ship on the right and walked inside. The moment he crossed the door, the noise of the station faded away. It became very quiet. Too quiet. Rian stopped walking. The air inside felt cold, heavy, almost old. The lights were dim, and the corridor stretched ahead like a dark throat. He waited for a welcoming voice, a robotic greeting, or even the hum of engines. But he heard nothing. He tried again. "Hello? Anyone here?" Only silence answered him. Rian felt the hairs on his arms rise. Something about the place felt wrong, like he had stepped into a forgotten place, not a passenger ship. The walls were smooth and silver, but covered with strange marks, like long scratches or symbols he could not understand. He turned around to step back out, but the door behind him slid shut with a loud metal thud. Rian froze. No, open. He pressed the button on the wall, but the door did not move. He hit it harder, but nothing happened. The panel was dead. Then he heard it, a whisper, soft, far away, echoing through the empty corridor. A male. Rian's breath caught in his throat. He slowly stepped back. "Who's there?" he asked. His voice sounded small in the large, dark space. More whispers answered him. They came from the shadows, from behind walls, from everywhere. A real male. After so long, after 500 years. The whispers grew into a soft chorus, like wind moving through bones. Rian's heart beat faster. He could not see anyone, but he felt eyes on him. Many eyes, watching, waiting. "Okay," he whispered to himself. "This is the wrong ship. This is definitely the wrong ship." He tried searching for a control panel or emergency button. His fingers traced along the wall until he found something that looked like a screen. But when he touched it, it flickered with strange blue symbols he could not read. The shapes moved like living things. Suddenly the floor vibrated under his feet. A deep pulse shook the ship, as if it were waking from a long sleep. No, don't take off," Rian whispered. But the ship did not listen. The lights turned red, then blue, then white. The hallway brightened for a moment, and Rian finally saw something in the distance. Shapes. Tall, thin shapes walking slowly toward him. They moved gracefully, their steps silent, their bodies almost floating. Their skin was pale like frost, and their eyes glowed faintly in the darkness. Long hair flowed behind them like mist. Rian stepped back until his shoulder hit the sealed exit door. One of the tall figures leaned forward, her face still hidden in the dim light. Her voice slid through the air like cold smoke. "A human male. Alive," another whispered. "5 centuries. We have waited 5 centuries." Rian swallowed hard. His voice cracked. "Look, I think there's been a mistake. I'm on the wrong ship. I just need to go back." They did not answer his words. Their glowing eyes moved over him, studying him with something that was not hunger for food, but hunger for something deeper. One of them stepped closer. She was taller than any human woman, elegant, but terrifying. She tilted her head as if smelling him. "So much life," she whispered. Rian pressed against the door, panic rising in his chest. He realized he was surrounded. The corridor behind the figures grew darker. and the ship's heartbeat like pulse grew louder. "Let me out," Rian said. "Please." The tall woman shook her head slowly. "The ship has chosen," she whispered. "You boarded it. Now it will not release you." The others whispered together. "A male, a rare one. We cannot. Let him go." Rian felt the ship lift off, carrying him into the unknown, trapping him with beings who had been waiting for something like him for centuries. And he realized something chilling. They were not whispering to each other. They were whispering to him. Rian did not trust his legs anymore. They felt stiff and weak, like they belonged to someone else. The tall, pale figures moved closer, surrounding him with slow, graceful steps. Their white skin reflected the faint blue lights of the ship, and their glowing eyes never blinked. One of them leaned in, studying his face. Her pupils were wide and bright, like two moons floating in dark water. "You are afraid," she whispered. Rian tried to speak, but his throat was tight. He forced the words out anyway. Who are you?" The tall woman did not answer at first. She tilted her head, as if listening to something far away. The ship vibrated again under Rian's feet, like it was responding to her silence. Then she said softly, "We are the Illyrians." The word meant nothing to Rian. He had never heard it before, but the way she spoke it sounded heavy, ancient, like a name pulled from old legends. "We were great once," another woman whispered from the shadows. She had long silver hair that floated around her like mist. "We lived in the heart of the galaxy. We sang to the stars." They answered. Her voice carried sadness, but also pride. Rian swallowed. "What happened to you?" The first woman stepped closer. Her cold breath touched his skin. "Time happened. War happened. Hunger happened." More figures appeared behind her, 8, 10, maybe more. They all stared at him with the same glowing, hungry eyes. Rian pressed harder against the locked door. His heartbeat felt too loud, like the ship could hear it. "Why? Why are you all women?" he asked. A ripple of whispers filled the corridor. "We were not always," one said. "We had males," said another. "Once, long ago." The silver-haired Illyrian moved closer, her face finally entering the light. Her beauty was sharp, almost painful to look at, too perfect, too unnatural. But her expression was full of sorrow. "Our males died in the last war," she said. "The enemy released a sickness. It killed only them. We tried to save them, but it was too late." She looked down at her hands. "Without males, our race began to fade." Rian felt a tiny spark of sympathy, but fear smothered it quickly. "So, you've been alone? For 500 years? A whisper answered him immediately. "Yes. 5 centuries. No male of our kind. No male of any kind." Another Illyrian stepped closer, her eyes glowing brighter as she looked at him. "Until you boarded our ship." Rian felt sick. "I didn't board it. I thought it was my transport. I just made a mistake." The tall woman shook her head slowly. "There are no mistakes," she whispered. "The ship chooses. It has always chosen." "What does that mean?" Rian asked. Instead of answering, she reached out and touched the wall beside her. The surface rippled like water, glowing softly at her touch. A strange hum filled the corridor, and the lights shifted to a deep purple. "Come," she said. "You must understand where you are." Rian did not want to follow, but the Illyrians moved behind him, silently guiding him forward. He felt like a mouse being pushed into a maze. The corridor opened into a large chamber. The walls curved upward like the inside of a massive shell. Strange symbols pulsed along the edges, glowing slowly like a heartbeat. Rian gasped when he saw the center of the chamber. A huge crystal-like structure floated above the floor. Blue energy swirled inside it, like a trapped storm. What is that?" "The heart," the leader whispered. "Our ship is alive. It feels. It remembers." "It remembers what?" Rian asked. The silver-haired Illyrian stepped beside him. "It remembers the old purpose," Rian frowned. Purpose? The leader leaned closer, her glowing eyes searching his face. This ship was built as a survival ark. It was made to save dying species, to find new life, to protect it, to restore balance. Rian looked at her, confused. Then why does it feel like a trap? A soft, cold laugh drifted from behind him. Because we forgot how to use it. Another Illyrian whispered, centuries. In the dark, alone, starving, waiting. Rian felt his chest tighten. Starving? For what? The leader touched the crystal, and the swirling energy grew brighter. Life, she said simply. We feed on life energy, not flesh, not blood. Energy, essence. Rian stepped back. And me? All the Illyrians looked at him at once. Their glowing eyes brightened. Their breaths deepened. You are strong, one whispered. You shine, said another. You can save us, the leader said. Or you can die here, slowly. Rian felt cold from head to toe. The Illyrian stepped closer. The ship hummed louder, and he realized the truth. He was not a guest. He was not even a prisoner. He was a resource. Rian's lungs tightened as the Illyrians circled him. Their steps were slow and smooth, but the hunger in their eyes was sharp and alive. The room felt colder. The blue light from the crystal above them pulsed like a heartbeat, slow, deep, and ancient. The leader lifted her hand. Her fingers were long and thin, ending in soft glowing tips. Do not fear, she whispered. We do not wish to harm you. That was a lie. Rian could feel it. He could see it in the way their glowing eyes followed every movement he made, how they leaned closer each time he breathed, as if they could smell his life. What do you want from me? Rian asked. His voice was unsteady. The silver-haired Illyrian stepped forward. Her hair moved like smoke around her shoulders, and her eyes were brighter than the others. We need what only you can give, she said. Without males, our bodies weaken. Our memories fade. Our light dies. Rian swallowed. You mean energy? They all whispered together, like wind through broken glass. Yes, the leader spoke softer this time. When a male lives beside an Illyrian, our strength grows. His life force feeds the ship. The ship feeds us. Balance returns. But your males are gone, Rian said. A sad whisper answered him. All gone. All lost. The leader walked closer, slowly, giving him time to retreat. But Rian had nowhere to retreat to. The others blocked the exit. The chamber doors were sealed. The ship felt alive around him, breathing, listening. The leader raised her hand and gently touched his arm. Rian gasped. Her touch was ice cold, but it sucked warmth from him like a sponge pulling water. It was not painful, but it was wrong. Too wrong. He jerked away, clutching his arm. Don't touch me. She blinked slowly. We must. It is the way our kind survives. Rian shook his head. I'll die, won't I? If you take too much? Another Illyrian stepped out of the shadows. Her voice was soft, almost kind. We will not take all. Only a little. Only enough to live one more day. But Rian saw through them now. Their eyes were too hungry. Their bodies leaned toward him like flowers seeking sunlight. You don't want a little, Rian whispered. You want everything. Silence fell over the room. The crystal heart above them pulsed again, faster now. The entire chamber shivered. The leader lowered her gaze. We have not eaten in many years, she admitted. When we feed, we cannot always stop ourselves. Some of the Illyrians nodded slowly, shame mixing with hunger. Rian's chest tightened. He wasn't just trapped with them. He was fuel. The leader stepped back and motioned to a circular platform near the crystal. It glowed with soft white light. Come, she said. Stand here. The heart will connect us. It will keep you alive while we take what we need. Rian didn't move. If you refuse, she whispered, the ship will take from you anyway. Without control. Without mercy. Rian looked around. The walls felt like they were watching him. Breathing with him, waiting. The ship truly was alive, and it was hungry too. He shook his head hard. No, I'm not doing that. The Illyrians moved closer, their glow brightening with excitement and need. The silver-haired one stepped forward. She spoke gently, but her voice trembled. We do not wish to force you, but we cannot let you leave. You shine too brightly. You are too strong. Rian's breath quickened. Strong? I'm just a miner. I'm nobody. The leader's eyes softened with almost pity. Human males carry rare energy. Powerful energy. Your emotions, your memories, your courage. It all burns brightly in your kind. We have tasted it before. Long ago. Another Illyrian whispered, humans are warm. Humans are fire. The last bit of hope inside Rian cracked. They weren't keeping him because they needed him. They were keeping him because they craved him. He backed away until his shoulder hit the wall. I won't let you drain me. The leader tilted her head. You cannot fight the ship. Maybe I can fight you, Rian said. He didn't believe it, but the Illyrians froze for a moment. Their eyes widened slightly. They were not used to resistance. They were not used to defiance, especially not from prey. The leader sighed. We do not want this to be violent. Rian's hands shook, but he lifted his chin. Then let me go. Another deadly silence. Then the silver-haired Illyrian spoke softly. We can't. If you leave, we die. The others whispered together, desperate. He must stay. He must feed us. He shines. He shines. Rian felt the walls shift behind him. The ship was reacting to their hunger. The heartbeat-like pulse grew louder. Lights flickered. The floor seemed to warm under his feet. The ship wanted his energy as much as they did. Rian understood now. The ship. The heart, the Illyrians, they were one. And all of them saw him as food. The leader raised her hand again. Rian Hale, she whispered. Do not run. He ran. Rian ran without looking back. His footsteps echoed through the long metallic hallway as the lights flickered in panic, almost as if the ship itself felt his fear. Cold air rushed past him, carrying soft whispers behind him. The Illyrians were not running. They were gliding. Their steps were too light, too smooth, like ghosts chasing a living flame. Rian. A voice called, distant but clear. Do not run. You will hurt yourself. He ignored them and kept going. The hallway twisted sharply to the left, and he nearly slipped. He grabbed a cold metal railing to steady himself. The air smelled sharp, like burnt ozone. He reached a dead end, another sealed door with no panel, no handle, nothing. No, come on, open. He muttered. He pushed, hit, kicked, nothing. Behind him. The whispers grew louder. Rian pressed his forehead to the door and closed his eyes, angry and desperate. Open, the ship answered. A soft pulse vibrated through the door, and it slid open. Rian stumbled backward in shock. What? The Illyrians froze at the end of the hallway. Their glowing eyes widened. He opened it? That door responds only to the heart. Impossible. Rian didn't wait to hear more. He dove through the door and slammed his palm against the wall. The door slid shut again, locking them out. His heart pounded so hard it hurt. He leaned on the wall, trying to breathe. Okay, what was that? He whispered. The room around him slowly lit up. Soft blue lines crawled along the floor like moving veins. Machines hummed awake. Green screens flickered on, displaying symbols he couldn't read. But one thing was clear. The ship was listening, either to his fear or to his will. Maybe both. Rian stepped forward cautiously. The room looked like an old control chamber. Dust floated in the air, glowing under the dim lights. The Illyrians had not been here for a long time. He checked the screens. Most of them showed strange diagrams, body shapes, energy waves, glowing orbs. One screen displayed a pulsing white outline that looked human. A small label blinked under it, written in alien symbols. Rian couldn't read the text, but he understood something. It was him. The ship was showing him. A soft chime made him jump. A new symbol appeared on the closest screen, 3 circles connected by a glowing line. His screen responded to him, as if waiting for instructions. Rian swallowed. So, you understand me. Great. Do you also understand stop trying to eat me? The screen flashed red. Yeah, I thought so. He pressed a symbol at random. The door he came through flashed with white energy locking itself harder. He tried another symbol. A map appeared on the screen, showing a layout of the ship. He zoomed in by dragging his finger. The ship responded instantly. He saw dozens of rooms. Many dark, many sealed. Corridors twisting like roots of a giant tree. And tiny glowing dots moving slowly through the map. The Illyrians, they were searching for him. He zoomed out again. The entire ship looked like a giant creature. The heart chamber pulsed in the center. Rian whispered, I need to get control of this thing. He touched another icon. The lights in the corridor outside shut off. The map showed the Illyrians stopping. Confused, something clicked in his head. The Illyrians said they had forgotten how to use the ship. 500 years alone. Their memories fading. Their bodies weakening. But humans adapted fast. Humans learned fast. Humans fought hardest when cornered. Rian wasn't strong. He wasn't trained. He wasn't a hero, but he had something the Illyrians didn't. Problem solving, fear, determination, willpower. He could use all of that. He pressed another symbol. A deep hum filled the ship. Gravity shifted suddenly. Rian grabbed the panel to keep his balance. Far away in the dark corridors, he heard surprised cries. He checked the map. Several Illyrians floated into the air as gravity weakened. Their movements confused. A small smile appeared on his face. Okay. Maybe I can do this. He hit another symbol. Vents opened across the ship, releasing thick white fog. The Illyrians' glowing dots scattered across the map. He was disrupting them, confusing them, outsmarting them. The door behind him shook violently. A hand pressed against the small window, long fingers glowing softly. A pale eye appeared, staring in. Rian. The voice whispered through the metal. You must not fight the ship. He stepped back. The voice sounded afraid. We feel it, the Illyrian whispered. The ship answers you. It listens to your emotions. Rian stared at the screens. Maybe because humans feel more strongly. The Illyrian's eye flinched. Do not take control, she whispered. You will hurt us. And yourself. Rian set his jaw. You are going to drain me. The Illyrian fell silent. Rian pressed a symbol shaped like a star. The ship shook again. Lights flashed red. The Illyrian hissed. Stop. Rian stepped away from the panel. No, he said quietly. For the first time, I have the advantage. The ship hummed in agreement. And the Illyrians, for the first time since he boarded the wrong door, looked terrified. The door finally stopped shaking, and the whispering on the other side faded. Rian didn't relax. He knew they were still there, watching, waiting, planning. Illyrians didn't need heavy footsteps or loud breathing. They moved like drifting smoke, silent and cold. Rian stared at the ship map glowing on the screen. The small dots representing Illyrians began spreading across the corridors again. Slower this time, more cautious. They were regrouping. They're hunters, Rian whispered to himself. And I'm the prey. He wiped sweat from his forehead. The air in the control chamber felt colder now, heavy with a quiet tension. He needed a plan. He needed time. But the ship was huge. and he didn't know enough about it to hide forever. He traced his finger across the map, scanning for places that looked isolated or locked. Many rooms were sealed. Some had no lights at all. Some showed strange readings he didn't understand. His eyes caught a long vertical shaft near the center of the ship. It connected several floors but showed no Illyrian activity nearby. "That looks promising," he whispered. The door behind him trembled again, softer this time. A voice drifted through the cracks. "Rian, listen to us." He ignored it and pressed a glowing symbol on the panel. The room lights dimmed. The wall to his left slid open, revealing a narrow passage, a maintenance crawl space. Perfect. Rian slipped inside and closed it behind him. Darkness swallowed him instantly. He pulled out a tiny emergency light from his travel bag and clicked it on. A weak cone of light cut through the shadows. The crawl space was tight, just big enough for him to move on hands and knees. Pipes lined the walls like metal veins. The air smelled like rust and old electricity. He crawled forward, his breath echoing too loudly. Every sound felt dangerous. After several minutes, he reached a small grate. He peeked through it. Below him lay a long corridor filled with white fog from the vents he opened earlier. The fog swirled like ghosts. Shadows moved inside it, tall, thin shapes drifting slowly. Illyria, NS. They were searching for him. "Fan out," one whispered. "He feels strong emotions," another said. "Follow the warmth." Rian covered his mouth to muffle his breath. They could sense life like animals tracking heat. He crawled quietly past the grate and deeper into the ship. After a long crawl, he reached another drop. A small panel showed weak light through tiny holes. He pushed it open slightly and looked down. The vertical shaft. It was massive, like an elevator without the platform. Blue energy hummed along the edges. A soft upward draft of warm air brushed his face. He could climb down. Or up. He checked the map in his memory. The heart was many floors above him. A lower level showed a strange room with dozens of sealed pods, he whispered. Pods sound safer than glowing mirrors and hungry aliens. He grabbed a metal pipe, swung himself out of the crawl space, and slowly climbed down the wall of the shaft. His hands burned from gripping the edges, but adrenaline kept him moving. Halfway down, a voice echoed through the shaft, soft but clear. "Rian." He froze. The voice came from above. An Illyrian stood at the top of the shaft, peering down with glowing eyes. Her silver hair floated around her like a halo. "You cannot hide from us," she whispered. Rian dropped faster, slipping down 2 levels at once. His hands scraped against the wall, but he kept going. The Illyrian glided down after him, not climbing, not falling, just drifting like a feather through air. She was faster. Rian saw a door on the next level and leaped toward it. He grabbed the narrow frame, swung his body, and slammed the side panel. The door slid shut just as the Illyrian reached it. Her glowing eyes stared at him through the small window. "You are hurting yourself," she said. "You will tire." "We do not tire." Rian backed away from the door. "Good, then maybe you'll get bored." She tilted her head. "No, you shine too brightly." He turned and ran. This hallway was different, cleaner, brighter. Symbols lined the walls, glowing faint blue. Doors stretched on both sides, sealed tight. Rian tried to open one. It didn't move. He tried another. Nothing. The third flickered green and opened. Inside was a chamber, filled with tall pods, glass containers holding swirling lights. Each one hummed with quiet energy. Rian stepped forward slowly. "What are these?" He touched one pod. A memory-like sensation hit him, voices, images, colors. He jerked his hand back. These were not storage pods. They were memory pods, the Illyrians' missing knowledge. The forgotten past. He stared at the rows of pods. If they lost their memories, maybe I can use these. But the moment he thought that, a whisper came from behind him. "You should not be here." He spun around. Another Illyrian stood at the doorway, shorter than the others, with softer features and pale blue eyes. She looked younger, less threatening. She didn't move closer. Rian tensed. "You here to drain me too?" The Illyrian shook her head slowly. "No," she whispered. "I came to warn you." Rian blinked. "Warn me?" She stepped inside, closing the door behind her. "They are growing desperate," she said. "If they catch you now, they will not stop it a little." Rian swallowed. "Why tell me?" She lowered her gaze. "Because I do not want to eat the only hope we found in centuries." Rian froze. "And because," she whispered, stepping closer, "there is something even hungrier on this ship than us." Rian stared at the young Illyrian, unsure if he should trust her or run from her. Her pale blue eyes were not bright with hunger like the others. Instead, they looked tired, afraid. "Almost human. What do you mean something hungrier is here?" Rian asked. She glanced nervously at the door, as if expecting the others to appear at any moment. "Keep your voice low," she whispered. "If they hear us, they will not let me speak." Rian stepped back from the memory pods, giving himself some distance. "Just tell me." The Illyrian approached one of the pods, placing her hand on the glass. The swirling lights inside shifted like fog trapped in a bottle. "These pods, they store our memories," she whispered. "The memories of our people, the knowledge of our creators, and the purpose of this ship." She closed her eyes. "But they also store something else," Rian frowned. "What?" "Our fear." The lights inside the pod flickered violently, as if reacting to her words. Rian took a step back, heart pounding. "Fear? Why keep fear?" "Because we did not choose to," she said. "The ship did." Rian felt a cold chill run down his spine. "You're saying the ship collects emotions?" She nodded slowly. "It was designed to. The heart absorbs energy from living beings, life, memories, feelings. This was how it kept species alive during the Great Crisis. Every emotion became fuel. Every memory became knowledge." Rian swallowed. "Then how did everything go wrong?" She touched another pod gently. The lights inside dimmed, almost like a sigh. "When the sickness took our males, the balance broke. Without them, the heart became hungry. Too hungry. It started taking more than memories, more than guidance." Her voice trembled. "It started taking us." Rian blinked. "Taking you? How?" She looked at him with sad, distant eyes. "Look around. All these pods once held living Illyrians. They came here to give their memories to the heart. But they never walked out again." Rian felt sick. He looked at the rows of pods, hundreds of them, and realized the truth. Most Illyrians weren't dead from war. They were eaten by the ship. He stepped back. "And the others don't know?" "They forgot," she whispered. "Their minds were fading even before the sickness. Hunger changed them. Instinct replaced memory. They became shadows of what they once were." Rian clenched his fists. "So the real danger isn't them. It's the ship." She nodded. "Yes, the heart has waited centuries for something strong. Something bright. Something alive enough to wake it fully." Rian stared at her. "Me, you," she whispered. "Your mind burns with emotions. Your memories are loud. The ship tasted your fear earlier, and now it wants more." As if hearing her words, the walls hummed. A soft pulse vibrated through the floor. Rian felt a cold wave go through him. "Then why help me? If the others want me alive and the ship wants to eat me, you're going against both." The young Illyrian lowered her eyes. "Because I remember enough to know this is wrong." She stepped closer to him, hands shaking. "And because I don't want to watch another male die." Rian hesitated. "Another?" She nodded. Long ago, before our memories were lost, another male from another species boarded this ship by accident. He was bright like you, strong like you. Her voice softened. But he trusted us, trusted the ship. And the heart emptied him until nothing was left. Rian felt his stomach twist. So if I let the ship connect to me, you will not survive, she whispered. Not even for a moment. Silence filled the room. Then Rian asked the question he didn't want to ask but needed to. Is there a way to stop it? The Illyrian bit her lip. There is. But it is dangerous. Everything here is dangerous, Rian muttered. Tell me. She pointed to the glowing map on the wall inside the chamber. The center, the heart, pulsed like a beating star. The only way is to reset the heart. You must reach the control core behind it. There is an override. It was made for emergency use. But no Illyrian remembers how to open it. Rian sighed. Of course they don't. You will need to use your connection to the ship, she said. But carefully. If you give too much emotion, the heart will pull you inside. If you give too little, the controls will not open. So I have to feed the monster just enough so it lets me kill it? She nodded. Yes, that is the only way. Rian rubbed his face. Great, my favorite kind of plan, a terrible one. The Illyrian placed a hand on his arm, not cold, not draining, just gentle. You are not alone. I will help you. Rian looked at her, confused. Why risk your life for me? She held his gaze, her pale blue eyes soft. Because you are the first male in 500 years who didn't run to us, but away from us. She stepped toward the door, listening for movement. And because I think your will is strong enough to do what we could not. The walls hummed again, louder. Lights flickered. The heart was waking fully. We must move, she whispered. Before the others find us. Before the ship does. Rian took a deep breath and followed her. The hunt had changed. Now he was no longer prey. He was the only thing that could stop the ship. Rian followed the young Illyrian through the dim corridor. The lights flickered with each step they took, as if the ship itself was watching, calculating. The air grew warmer, vibrating with a deep hum. They were getting closer to the heart. The Illyrian whispered, "Stay behind me." The others have begun moving toward the core. Rian swallowed. Why? They feel the heart waking. They think it means salvation. They think it means you are finally giving in. Rian shook his head. I'm not here to save them. I'm here to stop this thing. But even as he said it, a twist of guilt pulled in his chest. He had seen their desperation, their fear, their terrible loneliness. They were predators now, yes, but they were also dying. The young Illyrian glanced at him. Do not let pity weaken your will. The heart will sense every emotion. Rian forced a breath. Right. Focus. Control. Don't die. They reached a round chamber. The entrance pulsed with pale light like a heartbeat. Inside, a wide bridge stretched toward a massive structure, the heart itself. It floated above a deep pit, glowing blue and white, swirling with storms of energy. It looked alive, hungry. Rian felt its pull instantly. His chest tightened. His thoughts sharpened. His emotions stirred. The ship wanted him. The Illyrian touched his shoulder. Stay strong. If you let fear take over, it will consume you. They stepped onto the bridge. The moment Rian moved closer to the heart, the humming grew louder, echoing inside his bones. Energy curled like invisible fingers around him, pulling gently at his memories, testing them. He felt a sudden wave of warmth, his childhood, his home planet, the smell of rain on metal roofs. He gasped, It's digging through my mind. Yes, the Illyrian whispered. Resist, but not too hard. You must let it taste enough emotion to open the core. How much is enough? You will know. That wasn't comforting. A sudden voice echoed from behind them, soft, cold, familiar. Rian. The other Illyrians entered the chamber. Dozens of them. Their glowing eyes filled with hope and hunger. They moved toward the bridge, slowly but surely. The leader stepped forward. Do not fight the heart. Let it connect with you. Let us live. Rian backed away. If I let it connect, it will kill me. She shook her head. No, it will save us all. You will become part of the ship. Eternal. Pure energy. That's killing me, Rian snapped. The leader raised her hand. We cannot let you shut it down. We cannot die again. The young Illyrian stepped between them. Stop, he is trying to save you. You do not understand. We understand you have betrayed us, the leader hissed. Her glow brightened. The others spread out, blocking every escape path. Rian muttered, Great, trapped again. The young Illyrian whispered urgently, The override is behind the heart. You must reach it now. How? They'll tear me apart before I take 2 steps. She looked at him with sad determination. I can distract them. No, Rian said immediately. They'll drain you. They will drain you worse, she whispered. Please. Let me do this. Before he could stop her, she stepped forward, arms raised. Sisters, listen. The ship is lying to us. It is using us. You are being controlled. She didn't finish. The leader struck her with a burst of cold light. The young Illyrian fell to her knees, crying out softly as her energy flickered. Rian shouted, Stop! The leader turned toward him. She has lost her purpose, but you will restore ours. Rian stood frozen for a moment. Then he felt something inside him. Shift.anger.real anger, hot, sharp, human. The heart responded instantly. The bridge shook. The lights turned white-hot. The Illyrians gasped. He is connected. He is feeding it. He shines. Rian screamed as the pull grew stronger, ripping at his memories. But he pushed forward one step, then another. The heart roared inside his mind. Feed me. It wasn't words. It was a force. A demand. Rian clenched his fists. No, you want my emotions? Then take this. He thought of fear, pain, anger, loneliness, hope, everything at once. The heart glowed brighter. Cracks of white light spread across it. For a moment, it felt like his mind would tear apart, but the core behind the heart unlocked. The Illyrians cried out. Stop him! Do not let him touch it! Rian ran. He threw himself past the heart, ignoring the burning in his head. His hand slammed onto the circular override panel. A blinding flash erupted. The heart screamed deep, violent, shaking the whole ship. The Illyrians collapsed, clutching their heads. Their hunger vanished from their eyes, replaced by confusion. And pain. The young Illyrian crawled toward Rian. You did it, but... Rian knelt beside her. But what? She looked at the heart, now dimming slowly. The ship will not die alone. It will reset everything. Including us. Rian's chest tightened. Including you. She nodded softly. Our memories. Our hunger. Our curse. Everything we became. Will vanish. Rian hesitated. Is that bad? She gave a weak smile. Maybe it is the only way we survive as people. Not monsters. The chamber trembled. The reset began. White light spread across the walls. Erasing symbols, restoring systems. The young Illyrian's glow faded gently. Thank you, Rian, for giving us a chance. To be more. Rian held her hand as the light consumed the room. When it cleared, the ship was silent. The Illyrians lay unconscious, their eyes no longer glowing, their faces peaceful. The heart hummed softly, not hungry, not angry. Balanced. Our IAN stood, alone in the quiet chamber. He had saved them. He had survived. But he knew one thing with certainty. The galaxy would never believe the story of the man who boarded the wrong ship and lived.